Based on the article, the main problem of the scenario is that social media influencers and digital entrepreneurs are flaunting their wealth and income online while neglecting to meet their tax obligations. So, how can this issue happen? The issue arises from the fact that these people mistakenly believe that taxes only apply to those with fixed incomes and do not consider their online income taxable. They thought taxes were only for those with fixed incomes. This misconception causes them to neglect their tax responsibilities, resulting in huge sums of unpaid taxes. In order to prevent these influences from running away from paying their taxes, LHDN established a specialized unit, the Digital Economy Audit Section, SAID, to monitor the influencers and entrepreneurs' activities. They are actively monitoring social media and e-commerce platforms to identify such cases and ensure that influencers and digital entrepreneurs make payments for their taxes.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Hafizah binti Abdullah and now I will explain about Miss Hani's responsibilities as a taxpayer. First, Miss Hanis has to declare all of her income and register her income tax reference number through e-Daftar or IRMB. Miss Hanis must be informed that all of her revenue as an influencer, including digital business activities such as online pet reviews and free vacation to client resort, is considered income. Miss Hanis must keep complete and accurate records of all her income and other financial activities in order to verify the information provided on her tax return and calculate the tax amount to be paid based on her total income as an influencer. If Miss Hanis earns more than RM 3,000 per month or RM 34,000 per year, she will be liable to income tax. Next, Ms. Hanis is advised to submit confidential information to the IRMB if she finds any errors or omission in their tax returns. Ms. Hanis must interact with the tax authorities immediately about any tax-related queries, worries, or problems. Because it is common for the first timer to make mistakes in filing their taxes, for example, not following the proper step in declaring their income. Lastly, Ms. Hani should not avoid paying her income taxes every year. If Ms. Hanis earns more than RM 34,000 per year and tries to avoid paying income tax, she could get into serious difficulty. Section 114 of the Income Tax Act of 1967 states that anyone detected avoiding taxes and failing to declare their income may face a fine of 300% of the amount owing. Ms. Hanis need to be vigilant about her responsibilities as an influential person on social media, regardless of whether her income is fixed or side income.
Assalamualaikum. Now I'm going to present about self-assessment system. Firstly, Ms. Hanis need to understand self-assessment system. Self-assessment means that a taxpayer is required by law to determine their taxable income, compute chargeable income tax, submit the income tax return form, and make tax payment for the year of assessment concerned. So, for the first step is, Ms. Hanis need to register with the Inland Revenue Board. Ms. Hanis may be first time in submitting her chargeable income tax and expenditure to the Inland Revenue Board. The Inland Revenue Board would then assign the taxpayer identification number to Ms. Hanis as she is a person who is accessible and chargeable to tax. Then she need to gather supporting documents. Section 82 of the Income Tax Act 1967 requires an individual carrying on a business to keep and retain in safe custody sufficient records for a period of 7 years from the end of the relevant year in relation to the business income. Next, Ms. Hadis need to determine chargeable income. Ms. Hanis should identify all sources of income derived from sponsored brand content, paid reviews, or any online business conducted through social media platforms. Ms. Hanis must ensure that she includes all forms of revenue in the calculations. Next is, she need to complete the income tax return form. Ms. Hanis must provide accurate personal information, including her full name, address, and taxpayer identification number. It is crucial for Ms. Hanis to carefully claim eligible deduction and allowances, such as business-related expenses, and be aware of any applicable tax credits. She must ensure that the information provided aligns with her supporting documents. Then she need to calculate the tax liability. To calculate Ms. Hanis' tax liability, She needs to assess all her income sources meticulously. This includes earning from sponsored brand content, paid reviews, and online business conducted through social media platforms. After determining her taxable income by subtracting allowable deductions from her total income, Ms. Hanis must refer to the relevant tax rates schedule provided by the Inland Revenue Board. After that, she needs to submit the income tax return. Ms. Hanis should submit her income tax return form by carefully adhering to the process outlined by the Inland Revenue Board. After completing the form with accurate details of her income, deductions, and tax credits, she needs to ensure that all supporting documents are attached. Then she should sign and date the form, certifying the accuracy of the information provided. It is crucial to meet the specified deadline to avoid penalties. For the payment of taxes, upon completing the income tax return form, Ms. Hanis needs to promptly fulfill her tax liability by making the required payment. This involves calculating the amount owed based on her taxable income and applying the relevant tax rates. It is crucial for Ms. Hanis to meet the specified deadline for tax payment to avoid any potential penalties. Fulfilling her tax obligation ensures compliance with regulations and contributes to the smooth functioning of the tax system. And last but not least, she needs to do regular reviews and updates. Ms. Hani should adopt a practice of regular review and updates to her financial records in order to ensure ongoing compliance with tax regulations. This involves keeping track of changes in her income, business activities, and any applicable deduction or credits. Regular reviews also help Ms. Hanis identify any potential issues, allowing her to address them promptly and avoid complications with tax authorities. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Hafiza binti Abdullah and now I will explain about tax return and assessment. Tax return is the document that must be filed by Ms. Hanis to report her financial information and calculate their tax liability or refund. Ms. Hanis should start filing her tax return in April each year. Start by compiling all sources of income earned during the tax year as an influencer. This includes earning from sponsored posts, brand partnership and affiliate marketing. Ms. Hanis must ensure that she has accurate records of each income streams, including payment receipt or invoices. Keep track of business-related expenses incurred in generating her influencer income. This may include expenses for content creation such as equipment, software, and props. By organizing her expenses, this will help maximize her deductions and reduce her taxable income. Next is tax assessment. Tax assessment is process undertaken by tax authorities to review and verify the accuracy of the information provided in the return and determine the final tax outcome. Ms. Hani should submit her tax return to the tax authorities by the given deadline, which is normally every year as an individual taxpayer. Tax authority truly evaluate the information given, including income statements. The tax assessment result will be delivered to Ms. Hanis explaining the amount of tax payable or refund due based on the information supplied in the tax return and any changes made throughout the assessment process.
Okay, now I will continue with explanation of the amendment of tax return. Okay. If Ms. Hanis have initiating amendment procedure, she must submit relevant form provided by LHDN for accurate information collection. She also must be proactive identification of error crucial for the amendment process. Okay, second one, the importance of supporting document. She must provide detailed letter and supporting document essential for the amendment. The document like purchase receipt and invoices to prove changes of her tax income. Next one is the alternative amendment procedures. She must write a detailed letter to Hasil Office for non-self amendment situation so that the Hasil Office evaluates provided information meticulously. And the fifth one is the 6-month amendment window. The Malaysian tax system allows self-amendment within 6 months from ITRF due date. This to emphasize proactive approach to correct errors of her financial transparency. And lastly, voluntary disclosure after Director's General adjustment. The temporary prohibition of ARF filing if Director General adjusts within the 6 months. And within the 6 months, the voluntary disclosure or revision possible through a comprehensive letter to the IRBN. And
For the explanation of the offenses and penalty, if she failed to do the amendment or she failed to provide a true income tax, the first is the failure to declare income, section 113. This is offense intentional or unintentional withholding of income from tax declaration. The penalty are from 1,000 ringgit to 10,000 ringgit. The second one is under declaring income, section 114. The offences are misrepresenting actual income to reduce tax burden. The penalty are 1,000 ringgit to 20,000 ringgit. For the third one is overclaiming expenditure. This is when she falsely inflating business related expenditure, and the legal implication are the criminal consequences under section 114A. For the monitoring and compliance review, the Digital Economy Audit Section SAED conduct daily monitoring of social media and e-commerce platform. This is constant monitoring to emphasize the importance of proactive compliance to prevent unintended violence. And the under is mutual administration assistance under section 119B. For the penalty of the monitoring compliance review are monetary fines, intercharge, and legal penalty.
The first step that needs to be taken by Miss Hanis is that she needs to submit the tax return before the due date in order to have a chance to file an appeal. The second step is Miss Hanis may file an appeal within 30 days from the date concerning any grievances relating to the rules and practices of the Inland Revenue Board (IRB). Yet, she must still pay the tax assessment made against her regardless of the outcome of the appeal. The third step is the documentation lodge. She needs to thoroughly prepare for the hearing by organizing her evidence and preparing 3 copies of the documents stated in the slides. After the hearing, the SCIT will issue a deciding order. The deciding order will either validate or dismiss the assessment. Ms. Hanis or DG may file an appeal on a legal matter or to take the cases to the High Court based on a combination of fact and law if they are dissatisfied with the SCIT's deciding order.